Let's explain the Via Ferrata set, because you might not know what it is and how to utilize it. And you might not understand why do you absolutely need a Via Ferrata set with you when climbing a Via Ferrata. Well, imagine this. The Via Ferrata set is the core of your Via Ferrata safety system. Without it, you should never, under no circumstance, climb a Via Ferrata. Why? The Via Ferrata set has two functions. One is to protect you in case of a fall, and the other one is to keep you always connected to the safety steel cable. What this means? Well, imagine if you only have one lanyard, doesn't matter what type, but only one lanyard. You are here, and now you advance, and now you get to this point when you have to make this anchor point transition. And if you disconnect like this and you only have one lanyard, now you are totally disconnected from the safety system of a Via Ferrata. If you lose control and you drop, there is no return. It's final. That one ends there. To protect your life, you have to use a Via Ferrata set. Why? Because as you can see, the Via Ferrata set has two elasticated lanyards. These two elasticated lanyards have a very important function. Imagine that I am here. I am here and I'm climbing this Via Ferrata. I have both lanyards connected. You see, I have reached the point and now I have to do the transition. I'm disconnecting once because I have to make the transition here. I'm disconnecting once, but you see, I'm still connected with the other lanyard. I'm clipping here. Now I'm disconnecting this, and again, I'm connected through the other one. This keeps me always connected to the safety system of the Via Ferrata. Now I'm coming here, I'm advancing, connected, and I'm reaching this other anchor. So I have to make the anchor transition also here. Good, let's make this anchor point transition as well as before. How do we do it? Always with one hand, and only one hand, we connect. You see, I'm connected now. Whew, well done to me. I'm connecting it here. Then I disconnect again. You see, I'm back again, connected. Nothing can happen in case I fall. And here we have it. I made the anchor point transition, and it was perfectly safe for me. I never been totally disconnected from the safety steel cable. Let me tell you some things about this Via Ferrata set and how to utilize it and some risks. When you connect the Via Ferrata set, make sure the carabiners are like this, in reverse. Not like this, not like this, not like this, but in reverse. You see, like this. They should be like this. And I will clip this one here and this one here. This forces you, you see, you cannot disconnect both at the same time by mistake. It is virtually impossible to do that. This is already good. Perfect. So this is one. Then comes the other thing. By chance, they cannot disconnect each other, again, because they go in opposite directions. Perfect. Also, this will force you, if you want to disconnect, like you need to think about disconnecting them. That one will make you aware. So no, it is very hard to make a human error and disconnect both at the same time when you connect them like this. Good. Now, when you do this, it also forces you to think a bit more, to make sure they are like this. Next thing you need to know. You get here, you reach the anchor point transition. Good. So, always do the anchor point transition with only one hand. You should never do it with both hands because your tendency will be to rush. You will disconnect this. You will also disconnect this, but now you are totally disconnected. This is a fatal error and you don't want to do it. So the rule here is when you do the anchor point transition, you should always use only one hand. You disconnect, and you see, through our carabiner connected. You clip here. You see, when you clip here, you make sure it is clipped. So do a test. Okay, it is clipped, because to me it happened many times to not properly clip, and when I disconnected this one, I was finding myself totally disconnected. And that one is, as I'm saying, and repeating, dangerous, fatal. Good. So now I'm disconnecting this one, again with only one hand. I'm connecting it here, and here we have it. I made the transition. As I was saying, always test to make sure they are actually connected. Now, what do you do with the legs and the other hand? Well, you have to find good resting points. Why? Because when you do the transition with one hand, your body needs to be in a, I'm looking after falling rocks. Your body has to be in a steady, perfect, rock solid resting position. Why? Because while you are doing the transition, if you don't do anything with this hand and your legs are slipping, then you will fall. And you don't want that to happen. So when you do the transition, let me come here. I am here. I'm finding a good resting point. Let's suppose it is like this and a bit complicated, no? So let's suppose this will be my transition, something like this. You see, if I don't use this hand, like how do I do it? I can grab only the cable, but if I don't use it, I will fall. So I'm using this hand. I'm in a solid, rock solid, you see, resting position. Now with one hand, I'm disconnecting, clipping it here above the anchor point, and now the other way around, and here I have it. It's done. These are the basics of advancing on Via Ferrata, on the equipment, and why you should have the equipment. As I was saying, the shock absorber here has the function of braking when you are falling, making your fall smoother. It is a lanyard that is stitched, and when you fall, the stitches are breaking, and one by one, based on the intensity of a force, of a falling force, they will break the stitches, and this will make the lanyard to open and to make you brake and eventually stop without too much damage to your system or to your body. Without a Via Ferrata set, you should never ever go on the Via Ferrata. Never. Of course, you have to have a safety equipment, the safety system, then follow the rules, the safety rules, and properly utilize the safety equipment, and then these common sense good practices that I'm speaking about. One of them is the anchor point transition only with only one hand, always. Then the other thing is the carabiners, you see, they should be in the opposite directions, connected. Then when you do the anchor point transition, connect, test, good. Now you disconnect, because you tested, you are sure, you are confident that that one is connected. And now you connect the second one, test, and you can continue